And so day 4 begins in quarantine. I slept terribly last night and I was wide awake at 3 o'clock, and I've kind of been awake ever since. And it occurs to me, usually for jet lag, I try to get outside, get the sun on my face, go for a walk at 7 a.m, get some fresh air. But obviously in here, there is no fresh air, and I only get about 25 minutes of direct sunlight a day. So I think the jet lag's gonna hang around for quite a while. But yeah, yesterday dragged on, and I kind of just went to bed at 8 o'clock because I had nothing else to do. So hopefully today I can be a bit more entertained. I'd been in here about 10 minutes when my brother and I started talking about ways to entertain myself and things that I should order, because I can get anything delivered here that I want to. Delivery guys can leave it with reception. And so I went online to the Australian buy and sell, which is called Gumtree, and I bought something that I've wanted to have for a long time, but I've never, kind of had the time to learn how to use it. And that is this thing. So this is called a Didgeridoo, and this is an Australian instrument, an Australian Aboriginal instrument that kind of fascinates me. It's you've heard it before in music and in songs. It's kind of that really deep bass sound, but I'm not going to put it in this video because I don't want to get a copyright claim on my channel. But yeah, I've always wanted to learn how to play one of these things. I felt like, especially when I was in Africa, it would have been amazing to be able to just show people a little bit and say, this is what the First Nations people of Australia play, and this is, kind of the heritage of my continent, which, while removed from Africa, it's still, very, very early humans and really ancient kind of culture. So this thing, it's difficult to play, and this one that I bought, this is pretty cheap. I paid $100 for this. I think if you get a good one, they're about $250. This is actually just bamboo, and so it is hollow right down the middle, like so. And the deal is, normally they would be like a piece of eucalyptus, so like a branch off a tree or a tree trunk, and grubs or worms or whatever actually eat out the inside, white ants, and that's what makes a hollow piece of wood. And traditionally, First Nations people here in Australia, they know places where they can put pieces of wood or they can find pieces that have been eaten out. And so usually they've kind of got some curves to them, or they're not perfectly straight like this one is. But this should do the trick. This should sort of help me learn and get the skills that I need to get. And so hopefully my goal is, probably not going to get great at it while I'm here in quarantine for the next 12 days. But hopefully as I move around Australia, I'm going to keep practicing, try and do like an hour a week, 2 hours a week. And at some point, maybe you'll hear some of the soundtrack of some of my videos in the future will be me playing the didgeridoo. Let's see if I can get good enough for that. And so I'll show you how it goes, and I'll show you where I'm up to. And then obviously I'll give you some updates as I'm stuck here in quarantine as I get better at playing. So the basic deal is you put your lips over the end and you play it a little bit like a trumpet, or one of those instruments where you have to make your lips do that kind of vibrating thing. And it's actually harder than you think, and so it's going to be hard for me to show this to you without it sounding like not good. And I'll start nodding when I actually get the right sound. It might take me a few goes. Kind of like that. That wasn't really it. Nope. That was getting closer. And so you can see there, that's kind of the sound that I'm aiming for. And there's a few skills that I'm going to have to build on top of that before I can actually get reasonable at playing this thing. And so the first one is, you can imagine, and you can see, I'm just kind of blowing all of my air out, and I run out of air after like 3 or 5 seconds. So, you can't maintain that. That's not how you play this instrument. So the first trick that you have to learn, from what I understand, is instead of sort of blowing out the middle of your lips and just in one big huff, you actually blow out the side of your mouth, and you try and blow out like the smallest little hole you can make with your lips, so that you're not actually blowing out a massive volume of air. And again, I'm not an expert, but I think the goal is to just get it started, get kind of the thing happening with maybe a big burst, and then really slow down and just kind of just maintain that sort of that noise or that tempo, and I should be able to get more like 10 seconds out of a breath of air. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now, and I'll see if I can get it. I'll probably edit this a little bit so that I can cut to the good stuff, but this is getting closer, I think. That's like the best I've ever done. First go. And you can hear I'm trying to play around and try and like modulate the sound and make it make different noises. That's obviously where I'm going with this. You know, that's how you actually make music with this thing. It isn't just one continuous note. You actually vary it, and you can make all kinds of different noises. People who are good at playing this thing, it is insane the different sounds they can make out of it. But I'll keep practicing here and see how I go. I get it started and then I get excited and then I lose it. And so that's about where I'm up to with playing this thing. But there is a whole nother skill that I have to talk about and I have to show you. And it's what I really need to learn to take it to the next level. And to do that, we're going to go into the bathroom. Sounds weird? I promise it's not. All right, welcome to my bathroom. The audio in here is a bit weird, but I hope it'll work. And I hope that it's okay doing this in the mirror. So things might look a bit weird. But anyway, to play the didgeridoo, obviously you can't just do 10-second bursts and then kind of stop and take a big breath of air. The idea is that you keep breathing the whole time. And so what you have to learn how to do is called circular breathing. And this is what I can't do, but I can actually do the first step, as they say, when you're learning. So the idea is you can blow air out your mouth and never stop doing that while you also breathe in through your nose. And you can control how much you're breathing in through your nose. You can kind of go slow or fast, but the air coming out of your mouth is very constant. And people who can do this, I mean, you can do it indefinitely. You can do it for an hour if you wanted to. It's not, a problem once you learn how to do that. And so this is kind of what I want to practice while I'm stuck in a hotel room. And the first step, they say, is you can practice by blowing water out of your mouth, because for some reason, blowing a stream of water out is easier than doing it with air. And so that's what I'll show you right now. I think I can do this. Last time I tried, I could do it. So what I'm gonna do is fill my mouth with water, and then I'm gonna be blowing that water out in a stream, which might land in the sink, it might not. And while I'm doing that, hopefully you'll hear me breathing in through my nose and then out through my nose. And I'll blow the water out as slow as I can so that basically I can make this take a really long time. And so you can sort of see what it's like. The idea is then I'll learn how to do it with air, but we'll try it with water and see how it goes. Maybe I'm about to make a huge mess. So I hope you get the idea there that that's actually what I was doing. And I think the trick is the way that you do it is you're filling your cheeks with the water, or when you learn how to do it, you fill your cheeks with the air, and then you're basically pushing that air out of your cheeks. So it's not like the air is coming out of your lungs. I think that's the difference. And then at some point you have to sort of like refill your cheeks again. I don't know if it comes from your lungs or if it comes directly from your nose. So I need to watch a whole bunch more YouTube videos, and I need to figure out how do I get to this next step of being able to do that with air instead of just with water. So I think I'm going to practice for a while with water, and then maybe I might try and practice with like a little bit of water and a little bit of air sort of at the same time. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Not really, not very effectively. I was thinking maybe that I could get like lower water in my mouth and then have maybe some air coming out as well as a little bit of water. That didn't really work. So I'm gonna have to watch a bunch of YouTube videos and figure out how do I get to this next step of circular breathing, and then I can keep improving the didge playing. So you can probably tell I'm pretty excited to have a didge. It's something that I've wanted to have for a long time, and I've never found the time to learn how to play it. Stuck in a hotel for 14 days seems like a good idea. I hope my neighbors aren't going to get too angry at me. I mean, the hotel delivered it to my door, so I mean, they must know what I'm going to do with it. And I don't think it's actually that obnoxiously loud, but I'm going to keep practicing here. Oh, here's a good distraction. I'll show you guys what this is. They call me every day, and let's see how this phone call goes. Hello, Dan speaking.
Hi, it's Chantal the News Morning. How's it going?
I'm good, Chantel. How are you?
I'm good, thank you for asking. Just doing a daily check again. Have you got any of the COVID symptoms?
I don't have any symptoms, Chantel. I feel great.
Beautiful. Anything we can do for you at all today?
Nothing comes to mind.
Beautiful.
Just hanging out in paradise.
Oh, you're so good at this.
I'm trying to.
You are.
I mean, I get up every morning and I do some exercise, and I'm trying to not just languish.
The fact that you get up every morning is the best thing ever. So well done.
Yeah, get up and make the bed, and then like not lie on the bed for the rest of the day. Because otherwise you just lie in bed and watch TV until 3 p.m.
Oh, it's easy to do.
Well, I think so. I hopefully I'm not going to find out.
Please don't. I want to hear by the end of it that you haven't done it once.
Okay, perfect. I'll go for that.
Good on you. Alrighty, you have a beautiful day. Give us a buzz if you need, okay?
Thanks, Chantel. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye. So they call me every day like that. I guess there's nurses here in the building, and I didn't fully appreciate, or I guess I didn't think about why they're doing it. I mean, part of it is they're trying to check if I've got COVID symptoms, obviously. But another big part of it is, I mean, I'm alone in this hotel room. What's to say I'm not unconscious? What's to say something bad didn't happen to me? So I think they're really calling as much as anything to check up on me, make sure I'm okay, make sure I didn't sneak out of my room, which would be difficult, I think, because there are security guards on every floor and so on. But yeah, it's kind of funny to think about, the phone call is there to help me and, help my mental health and stuff. I can even call them when I want to. There's, professionals here in the building. But at the same time, it's also like, check up on me, make sure that nothing bad has happened. I'm like, oh, I guess that's a possibility. Something bad could happen. So that's a distraction that happens every day. It's always been, 10:30 now. It's always been around this time of day. So I'm kind of, it's part of my routine now. And I'm not going to lie, I do look forward to it, because I'm on day 4 now. I'm not actually going to see another human face to face until day 10 when I get my next COVID test. So even just being able to talk to a human is good fun. These are the things you look forward to when you're locked in a hotel room. So anyway, back to the didge. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to practice here. And I guess the plan is I'll practice for like an hour or 3 every day. And I have to try and graduate to that next step of doing circular breathing, but doing it just with air. And so if I have a breakthrough and if I get it, I'm definitely going to show you guys while I'm here in quarantine. And I'll give you an update when I'm on my last day before I leave. And with any luck, it'll be something worth listening to. But in the meantime, you'll have to listen to something not worth listening to. So back to practice. I don't know if you heard that just then. You could hear sort of like a little bit of a gravelly sound right at the end there. That's me kind of almost growling in the back of my throat, and then that comes out in the didge. And so there are a million variations like that. And people who are really good at playing this, they'll even make like ka 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 noises while they're playing. So you have that bass, but you also have this, it sort of sounds a bit like a bird, or it's a really deeply ingrained like Australian sound. This is our cultural music from 40,000 years ago. And so as an Australian, even when I hear this didge make that noise, it's exciting. It makes me feel kind of closer to home. And that's why I'm looking forward so much to learning how to play this thing. I feel like too, good learning lesson there. If I breathe through my mouth, I basically have to reset my lips every time. And it takes that 2 or 3 seconds at the beginning to even get the right noise. But if I keep my mouth exactly where it is and I breathe in through my nose, as soon as I start air out of my mouth, it's already making the correct noise. The only challenge is after I do it for a while, I kind of am not getting enough air and I have to end up doing like a huge big nose inhale. And you can probably hear it over the microphone. But I feel like the more I persevere with trying to force air in my nose, that'll get me closer to circular breathing. But I mean, I'm gonna have to watch some YouTube, see if people have sort of the next level of tutorial after blow a stream of water out your mouth. Practice makes perfect, I guess.